Good evening, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. Um, it's about 11:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a little late for my normal broadcast, especially on a Sunday night. Let me just say real quickly to those of you who observe Easter, Happy Easter. To those of you who don't, hope you had a wonderful weekend. I want to just tell you all, for those of you who tune into late night live streams, that I've been working hard to try to introduce people to a revelation I had some 5 years ago with modern monetary theory and economics and understanding. How this works for real, the real working, not the political working. And, it's been a really, really difficult battle. For those of you who have tried your training wheels on taking this out to the streets, the pushback from people is ridiculous. That people, they don't even have to understand the economics. They just automatically just have things to say. I watched a little bit of the Trump protests on Saturday, and it became abundantly clear to me that our nation is easily distracted, is more wrapped up in games, more wrapped up in, time-wasting things that, I don't even know what to describe it as. I was joking around with Ellis, texting back and forth, because we didn't do our live stream tonight. And, he noticed that I had posted that I hated politics. I despise politics. Loathe politics, in fact. I loathe them so much that it reminds me of the dumbest thing on the planet. There's nothing more stupid than politics. And, I'm sitting there talking about real stuff. When I talk economics, that's real. That's not, some bloviating theatrical production. I'm talking to you about real stuff. Because when I get in front of the fucking camera, it's real to me. The things that I'm doing are with a desire to bring to light and bring to fruition the things we all claim to want and desire. And it takes a tremendous amount of discipline to stay focused and just keep fighting straight forward. But I'm not going to lie, it becomes difficult when people don't actually listen to what you're saying, and they come up with things that you didn't say and they put them into your words, and then you spend more time dealing with just pathetic trolls, pathetically worthless trolls, and supposedly good people that misunderstand. And, I was looking at YouTube earlier at some of the comments from some of the videos that I've done with other people beyond Real Progressives. And one in particular with Craig from Now Age News. And, there were people calling me Bill O'Reilly. There were people that were saying stupid things. Just ridiculously stupid things. None of them, not one comment had really anything to do with this subject matter. Not one bit of it had to do with the facts and stuff that were laid out in the presentation. Not one of them, not one of these comments really had anything to do with discussing the content of what I said. It was stupid stuff like, well, Steve is just stubborn. Steve doesn't consider anything outside of his world that he's blah, blah, blah. Now, mind you, folks, they don't remember, or they don't care to remember. They just don't give a flying fuck. And I've told you all that I've been a Republican. I've been an Austrian frickin' libertarian. Learned praxeology. Learned all the gold standard logic, monetarism. Keynes, Marx. I've been around the block, and these fools have the nerve. Have the nerve to say that I don't change and grow, that I don't take on new things, that I don't learn new things. Think about the very nature of me saying that I was once a Republican. Think about the very nature of me saying that at one time I was once a libertarian, a Ron Paul guy. Consider that I've been a registered Democrat. And now, as an independent, free-thinking man, one who focuses on macroeconomic reality, because at the end of the day, our oppressors are about the money. We may as well learn it too. And fool after fool after fool would rather go down into political conspiracies, nonsense, act like somehow or another, I don't know, this famous book that I show you every time. I don't know how many times these worthless pieces of shit need to be told that I know about their stupid conspiracies about the Federal Reserve, about the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, about all the little games they play. They don't realize that I fucking know it. And they saunter in, like the fucking dickhead at the bar, trying to pick up on your girlfriend, wants to start a fight, always got something to say, well, let me tell you something, boy. I've been there, done that. I've already done it. So when people say, he is not willing to change, he's not willing to see other things, it's a fucking lie. But the thing is that when I'm talking to you about macroeconomic reality, and people come in and try to derail what I have to say and talk to me about something completely different, like, oh, we got to talk about the Venus Project. God damn it, we got to talk about resource-based economy. I don't give a fuck. Go away. Go the fuck away. Get out of my fucking feed. Go somewhere else. Start your own goddamn feed. I'm here to try and save lives today. I don't have 100 years to work on your resource-based economy with the Republicans and you people, not you people, but you people who can't even get it through your head that federal taxation doesn't fund spending. You can't get that small, singular detail. But yet I'm supposed to suddenly talk about a resource-based economy. Right. I mean, for me, it is so deeply disturbing that people think they know stuff. They don't do any actual research. They have no active listening skills. They sit there and they have a PhD, a guy who has invested his life, he's not getting a nickel for it, in Joe Firestone. And they're sitting there trying to teach Joe how it is. Coming in, I'm going to teach him how it is. I'll teach Joe Firestone, the guy who can walk you through every single step from the dollar creation to the dollar deletion. The man who can do that. They're sitting there saying, let me tell you how it is. I read a blog on Ron Paul's website. I read some Alex Jones article, and I can tell you how it is. It's extremely, extremely disturbing to me that there are so many people out there that couldn't econ their way out of a paper bag, But yet they come in and they want to tell you something. They want to teach you. Now, I provide link after link after link after link after link after link, the link and link and link and link and link. And I provide you experts, lots and 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 lots of experts. We're not talking about my buddy down the street, Biffy and Jody and, whoever. Not my buddy from the bar. I don't drink anyway, but not the buddy from the bar or bringing some dude up from AA. Hey, Bill, man, can you do a 12-step call over here real quick? But before you do that, can you get on the air with me and talk about, economics? No. I have bona fide needs to make our country work. Selfishly, I have bona fide needs that make me want to make this country work. I got health issues. I got my own health issues, just like many of you do. I hate having debt hanging over my head like a frickin' noose, waiting to snatch my neck. For fear I do something untowards in a job where somebody else is in control of my existence and at any moment in time could leave me destitute and my children. I hate that. But these people come in, they want to saunter in, and I'm fighting for life. I'm fighting for life. They just want to have some sort of a esoteric debate about conspiracies about the Rothschilds and the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. They want to talk about it. And you know something? I don't give a flying fuck. I'm giving you the straight dope. And again, I bought my way into the club, so I know all the stupidity that the Green Party friends that like the AMI, American Monetary Institute, say, we need sovereign money, we got to take the power back, and blah, blah, blah. I already know this shit. And then I grew up and I learned better. I learned more betterer. Okay? I did. I can't fake like I don't know better to make someone feel better about themselves. I can't fake like I didn't do the homework so someone else can feel a little bit better about their own idiocy. It's very frustrating. I mean, seriously, it's very frustrating. You know, I hearken back to the fact that, you know, in the Penn Live, the beginning of January, Penn Live's a local newspaper out here in Pennsylvania. And it talked about how the state of Pennsylvania has a $600 million shortfall. And I've talked about this before. But you know what happens when states have shortfalls to the tune of $600 million a year? Shit starts getting real bad. People start getting laid off. Cuts come to health care. Health cuts. Cuts come to schools. Cuts come to roads. Cuts come to all sorts of things. And all of a sudden you've got a lot of personal insecurity. Now, I don't know if you've ever lived with PTSD before. But let me tell you about PTSD if you haven't experienced it. All it takes is a trigger. I can't tell you what that trigger is. Sometimes you're better at identifying them than others. But when you've been through extreme duress, I can't talk about battlefield. I can only talk about my own life, and it's always revolved around economics, sadly. But when the crash in 2008 hit and I lost everything, my life was in a death spiral in a way that I can't even put words to. And I never stopped feeling that feeling. That feeling goes away a little bit sometimes, but it's right there because I know now. I didn't understand how it all happened, but I do now. I do now. And I lived it. I felt it, experienced it. I'm an educated dude, man. I've gone through so many years of college, so much book learning. And I've had to unlearn an awful lot of that book learning. So when I tell people the orthodox economics that you're taught is incorrect, I'm not speaking as if I didn't get a master of fucking business administration with a classical training in fucking economics. How dare stupid people say stupid things, right? How dare you do that? How dare you? That's where I start getting freaking ready. Like, I'm talking about like old school, hey man, I'm still drinking. What are we doing? Oh, he looked up, bam. Let's throw down, motherfucker. That's where I get. I've got the fucking MBA. I got all the classical fucking learned Marx. All you far lefties out there who are raving about Marx and Eugene V. Debs learned it in spades. In spades. Got A's in it. All that stuff. Econ 1, Econ 2, micro, macro economics, accounting, finance, you name it. Statistics. International business. Went to China for 3 weeks for my capstone to learn about international trade. And I had to unlearn so much because it was wrong. And these guys saunter in. But you don't understand. You don't understand. Ron Paul said, I used to be a fucking Paul bot. What are you talking about? Of course I understand. I know where you're coming from. It's stupidity. It's idiocy. So much truth and yet so many lies. So much truth yet so many freaking way off conspiracies. Just enough truth to keep you reading to the next page. But so many lies. So many bad assumptions. So many bad conclusions. And that's the fight, guys. That's the fight, gals. You want your kids to lead a better life? You got to deal with those putzes. You got to deal with the putzes of the world that will cock-block progress. And then forget the putzes that break out the whole, it's a private bank, a private institution, fucking conspiracies. The next level, which is just as maddening, is the people that don't care. They don't give a fuck. They would rather go on April 15th and instead of fighting for single payer, instead of fighting for a federal job guarantee, instead of fighting for an infrastructure bill, instead of fighting for student debt forgiveness, they want Trump's tax returns. How awful, how abominable, how worthless. Instead of gathering to fight for a better America, they play gotcha politics. I don't know what to do with that. You keep going out there, you keep giving a speech, you keep talking to people. You deal with the friggin' asshats that throw this around. These asshats always saunter in like they know a secret nobody else knows. These asshats start things like the American Monetary Institute. These asshats start positive money. These asshats start Austrian economics. These asshats disrupt live streams. These asshats are useless as tits on a bowl. Worthless. But that's what your kids are depending on right there, folks. Getting past that bullshit. And you want to know why I'm not more kind, more gentle, more sweet? All you need to do is watch the trolls. And one of these days, maybe I'll do a full, you know what, here, let me do a reading for you. Let me do a reading. I'm going to break out a reading for you so you can hear some of this stuff. Because this is the stuff that's perfect for you to understand the level of loser that exists in the world today. So I'm going to pull this out. And I think you're going to find how fun this is. I think you're going to find that this is humorous in its own right. So let's go ahead and pull this turkey out. And almost there. And here we go. So this guy, he's one of those cool guys, right? Steve, they lied. And you repeat those lies. We were not on the gold standard when Nixon reversed the Bretton Woods mark. Our economy has been off the gold standard since 1933-34. Have you ever heard me say that before? The gold standard ended in 34. The Bretton Woods Accord ended in 1971. Fuck you, dude. All right, let's keep going. Everything that matters and that you talk about has been free from a gold exchange economic limitation forever in our modern monetary economies. When I first brought this to Mosler about 7 or 8 years ago, he said that technically I was correct. I asked how I was not correct. And so what the fuck is with this 71 change to the money system being claimed, that nothing has changed? He disassembled on BW trade balances and invited me to take a hike off the center of the universe. Sorry, buddy. MMT is a description of what is in somebody's imagination. As a result, any economic policy space or fiscal space or whatever has been available since at least 1934. So here we go. So what has this study of MMT really gotten us in terms of new policy space? Sorry, Steve. MMT has no there. All the stuff you think can be had through understanding the MMT description can indeed be had after we take back the money issuing privilege from the private bankers who oppose the change. Whenever you're ready. The asshat. A capital loserish asshat. A split-fingered waste person. Get tons of that shit. Tons of it. If the policy space had been around, it's because people were lying forever, right? So the reality is that you have been led to believe that, in fact, it hasn't been that way, that we're broke. Look at the Pete Peterson Foundation. Look at the debt clock. Look at all the bullshit. And let me tell you, first and foremost, orthodoxy requires an anvil and a hammer, and wham! It's the only way you crush the orthodoxy. It isn't going to be done gently. It isn't going to be done sweetly. Any more sweetly than when Luther went to the doors of the church and hammered his 99 theses on the door that brought about the split of the church forever. He took truth at the time, whatever, however you see it, to power. That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. Now, you have a choice. We all have a choice. We can die. We can. We can just die. Or we can fight. And as for me, when I worked at Verizon years ago, I had full coverage, medical coverage. I had short-term disability, long-term disability, mental health, dental, vision, whatever. I didn't have to think twice about going to the doctor. I had a $15 copay. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Those days are gone. I couldn't go for help of any variety unless I was in dire straits and had no choice and had to give up something to go to the doctor anymore. It's that bad. It's that expensive. And that's the world your kids are going to inherit if you don't fight today. But these parasites, these evil people, evil people, would like to put barricades and blockers and roadblocks ahead of you to say, well, we can't possibly do any of these things until we green the dollar, until we make our money and take it back from the banksters, until we come up with a resource-based economy. You can't live. You gotta die. Until we implement something that the Republicans will absolutely never do, you gotta die. But let me tell you what MMT is and it is not. MMT is just a fucking description of how the federal financing works in America today. It's actually not even that. It's even more general than that. It's really just how currency works wherever it is. Wherever it is around the world. It describes currency wherever it is. So when people say, well, MMT fails to address the banking concerns, it fails to address, guess what? Fucking dumb fuck. MMT is a description of currency. So you didn't know what MMT was, yet you had words for it. Well, that makes you a fucking asshole, doesn't it? MMT just describes the mechanisms that are in place as money is created and moves through the system. It describes how a currency operates, be it fiat, be it gold, be it whatever. It will describe it. That's what it does. The policy prescriptions are left to you and me. You realize Republicans can and do use MMT to great precision to fatten the military. Oh shit, the Democrats do that too, don't they? Yeah. But they never, ever, ever find any policy space at all to take care of these rotting teeth. You know? They don't do that. They don't take any time to fix that which is broken. As buildings fall apart, as water pipes corrode and burst, as people struggle, they don't take time for that. Neither the Democrats or Republicans. This is not a political discussion, folks. I swear to God, I hate politics. This is truth about how our banking system, how our money is created in the United States, and why we can never go broke, and why we can address these needs that we have as a nation. Can you fathom anyone that claims to be a progressive We're just a human being. A human being. Let's just go with that. A human fucking being. Can you imagine a human being pushing back? Why would they do something so stupid? Why not just learn so that we can make change? Why can't we just learn? Don't take my word for it. Read the fucking links. I give so many links, and yet I see people ignore them. And then they have things to say? Do you not find that to be the most revolting level of disrespect imaginable? You have something to say, but you haven't bothered reading the source material that I'm giving you to tell you, hey guys, the words I'm saying are backed up in spades by people who you can cross-check their credentials, you fuckface. I don't know, PhD Kelton, PhD Geneva, PhD Wray, PhD Firestone. You can get your credential fix on. Unfortunately, you get people that are more wrapped up in the drama of somebody flailing around on their screen, doing all kinds of and all this stuff, instead of giving you something actionable to deliver on. They favor the drama of the theater. They favor having a leader, someone they can look up to. They want a leader. They don't want to take the time to read on their own. They want a leader to tell them what they're going to do. Someone was very upset at me for saying, if Tulsi Gabbard runs for president and she doesn't have her facts down on economics, I'm going to slam her too. And that made them get a case of the feels you wouldn't believe. Because I'm supposed to take it easy on her because she's a progressive. But let me tell you what would be a damn shame. What would be a damn shame is to elect a progressive who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. And then we end up with yet another misguided situation. And then all we can do is point at ourselves. Look, if you want any proof for what I'm saying, go to the worthless page, Occupy Democrats. You will see countless references to where they celebrate Obama reducing the deficit. I swear on my life. The Democratic Party celebrates destroying the economy. Well, let me tell you something. Many of the things that are in place today that are going to cause the next recession happened years ago. They didn't happen today, and they won't happen in the next year. They already happened, and the wave, the tsunami is going to hit us. The earthquake happened. It's like thunder. There's the thunder, then the lightning. Thunder, flash, thunder, flash. The difference is that the thunder and the flash are just a little bit off kilter. A lot of the problems we're about to face came as a result going back, way back. But you can really point to some of the things from the Clinton administration in particular. And then you can look at the Obama administration and the sequestration. The sequestration. We're still dealing with the austerity that brought to our country. That sequestration and that draining of the bathtub which is our economy. That austerity is going to hit. If Trump doesn't find a way to put stimulus into the economy, stimulating it for us regular people, we're already seeing jobs shrink. We're seeing state budgets in dire straits because guess what? States don't create their own currency. States are currency users. They have to tax, they have to borrow, and not of their own making. The federal government, however, does those things because it's what they do. It's an anachronism from a bygone era, but it's all fluff and bullshit and used to scare the shit out of people and keep us begging for crumbs. So my only hope is that the people that actually give a flying fuck about their kids, about the nation, about the world, they realize that we don't have 50 years to create a resource-based economy, 100 years to create it. We got to save lives today. And we've got a system that allows for that. But people who are on the good side of ignorant don't know any better. And my goal is to make you realize that we have this power today. We can have a federal job guarantee so nobody's destitute. We can have green energy today so that we don't end up at an event horizon, if we haven't already passed it, for yet again another mass extinction. And I am not an alarmist, folks. Not in the least. In fact, it annoys the shit out of me when people say things that are not substantiated. That's why I go to great lengths to document my posts, my streams, etc. And yet people have the nerve, the audacity, to badmouth me without reading the links. I find that to be incredibly shameful. Like, hang your head in shame. You almost want to go talk to their kids, sit them down and say, you know what your dad did? Your dad went on some guy's live stream that's trying desperately to teach people how to save the planet and take care of their own kids, etc. He sat there and shit on it. Came up with a fake conspiracy. Derailed progress. That's your dad fucking you right in the ear hole. What do you think about that? You know, this is the stuff I want to do. I really do, and I mean it. Not going to do it because it's whatever. But it's depressing to think that these people exist. They're snatching breath from those more worthy. So it really is, to coin Jill Stein, it's in our hands. It's a daunting task. I'm not going to lie. I've been at it for 5 years. There's others that have been at it for 20. And we have made huge strides. I'm not going to lie. Huge strides. But there's an awful lot of work to be done. And it doesn't take converting everybody. It doesn't take educating everybody, although I'd love everybody to be aware so we don't have to have these stupid how the system works conversations anymore, so that the conspiracy bullshit can go away. But wouldn't it be nice if we could start really talking about specific policy prescriptions, giving an understanding that we cannot go broke unless our Congress decides to screw us in the ass and not spend. They can choose to default on the debt, but by the Constitution, 14th Amendment demands that we pay our bills on time. So I don't really think that that is too much of an issue. It's usually just posturing. And as Joe Firestone said, we could mint a coin to forever do away with the debt ceiling forever. It's a bullshit thing. It's a game. It's politics. But the bottom line is we could have all these things today. You and I could be it's like take your blood pressure, you could exercise, you could take care of yourself better. You could lead a more stress-free life, add years to your life, take good care of your children, give them a better life. But instead, these people exist. They exist. And they don't understand anything at all about how a modern fiat system works. They don't understand that the limit of our spending is the amount of resources we have available. That means bodies that can work. That means needs of the people, etc. If everybody suddenly has health care and there aren't enough healthcare professionals available, well, you might get some inflation in the healthcare industry. But guess what? If the government is creating its own money and it's paying for it, it can fix that in a heartbeat. We got to stop having these discussions about budgets and start looking at inflationary constraints, not some arbitrary budget, because taxes don't fund spending, do they? At the federal level. People ask, why do you keep saying that? Why? Or who cares? What is this, a cult? No, if truth and facts are cults, then call me a cultist. It's just truth. And we got to live there to make progress. Because myths and legends just serve as an easy distraction to give us some excuse for why we were unsuccessful at pushing for the change we so desired. Or in this case, need. I believe our environment is in deep crisis. I believe the poor are already suffering too much. I believe another death-defying recession is lurking right around the corner, based on sectoral balances even. I believe that the micro-austerity that is occurring amongst us, while the upper echelon is making money hand over fist, is going to create a situation that absolutely decimates us. I believe we have the fixes. I believe MMT answers each one of those if we choose to not be lackadaisical in saving our children's lives and actually tending to our own. The question really comes down to each one teach one. Well, are you teaching and are you learning? And are you spreading the word? If you're not, why not? If you have a question, who have you asked? Time is precious, folks. I'm serious. I'm 48. It's not 100. But it's not a spring chicken either. I'm starting to get those things that go on in your life when you're older and you start feeling the pains of life. And I'm telling you, we need to start taking action sooner than later. We don't have forever. We don't have just an abundance of time. Time is not on our side here. But the truth is, it's up to you and me, folks. That's my hope. You're my hope. We have truth on our side. It's up to you to take it and run with it. With that, I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you have a great work week. My name's Steve Grumbine. I'm with Real Progressives. Have a good night.